Hello, friends. Welcome into Ravens Rundown. I am Tom Downey here for a Week 3 reaction from what an unbelievable game. Of course, the Ravens won, so that's why we feel a little bit better about it from that perspective. But a crazy Week 3 finish as the Ravens survive, hold on, and barely take down the Detroit Lions thanks to the all-time future Hall of Fame greatest kicker of all time leg from Justin Tucker. We'll get more in depth in that momentarily, but the Ravens won. It was not pretty. It wasn't always good. We've got a lot of things to talk about as relates to Lamar Jackson. Looking at you, Marquise Brown, as well. But in the end, it was a win. The Ravens beat the Lions 19-17. In the win-loss column, the things that matter doesn't really care about how things went down. But getting a 2-point win off the all-time moment out of Justin Tucker, that's all that really matters for the Ravens, even if there are some concerns to address moving forward. Now, before we get too far into my instant reaction, some news and rumors as well, I want every single person watching to like the video, because there are none of you out there who should disagree with the statement I'm about to make. Justin Tucker is the greatest kicker of all time. And it's not even close as far as I'm concerned. In general, I don't like kickers. I don't like trusting them. They're kickers. Tucker is the only exception. And he did it again today for the Ravens. A 66 walk-off, game-winning field goal, hits the front crossbar, bounces up, and falls in for the Ravens to win in insane fashion. The dude does not miss in the fourth quarter or overtime. It simply does not happen. He missed one earlier, and look what he did. He came back and drilled the game winner. Tucker is the greatest kicker I have ever seen. The ice that exists within his veins is nothing short of incredible as far as I'm concerned. So Tucker, I mean, what else is to say but hats off to you. Drilled that game winner. Fun quick note here, by the way, on Justin Tucker, I almost forgot about. He said in pregame warmups he was short from 65 in both directions. It's indoors, so not much wind anyway, but he's not sure how he found the extra yard and a half. Adrenaline's a crazy thing, but 66 yards is insane out of Justin Tucker. We'll go more in depth on the offense and defense here momentarily, but grade the Ravens' Week 3 win for me. It was not pretty. There are plenty of concerns to dive into, but get your votes in for me in the comment section. This question, one you see right here, is the pinned comment on today's video. So get the ad break here on YouTube, simply scroll on down. A, B, C, D, or F, get your votes in right now. The Ravens defense, quick note on them, then we'll go more in depth on the offense. Good job. 17 points in most cases should win you football games. The offense, though, had some issues through the air and on the ground. I want to begin with the quarterback, because fair or not, and I argue more often than not fair, the quarterback gets the credit and the blame. Now, if you didn't watch any of Lamar Jackson's game, if you just look at the box score, you go, 16-31, he was 287. Okay, he made some big plays, but he completed barely 51% of his passes. That's not good. Lamar Jackson didn't play well. I completely disagree. I thought Lamar Jackson played more than good enough to win this game. And I think, of course, what ended up happening. He was the lead rusher once again on the ground. Sometimes he makes some bad decisions. That sack on that final drive was brutal. But Lamar Jackson threw multiple dimes, including several to Marquise Brown, who we'll get to in a minute, that were dropped for no reason. That never should have been dropped. It should have been touchdowns. I thought Lamar threw several very good tight window throws that did not end up on the box score because his receiver didn't catch them. I thought Lamar played a lot better than his 16th-1. Plus, by the way, he converted a 4th and 19. That does not happen, period. So let's give Lamar Jackson plenty of credit in this one. I want you guys right now to rate Lamar Jackson's Week 3 play. Use a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you thought he was a disaster, you want to bench him for somebody else. No one's going to type in 1. 10 being you thought MVP caliber game. I'm not quite at a 10, but I am still a little bit higher than a 1. I'm probably in a 7 or an 8. A big thing for me, look, the receiver's got to catch the damn football. Now, the Sammy Watkins one on the sidelines, tough play. I don't want to give too much blame to Watkins, but that did go off his hands. Multiple catches in this one by Marquise Brown. Right to him. and he dropped it. Marquise Brown finishes the day 7 targets, 3 catches, 53 yards. Brown easily should have gone over 100 yards with at least 2 touchdowns. I mean, there were end zone plays. Brown, ball in his hands, drops it. It was so frustrating to watch Lamar Jackson find a wide open Marquise Brown, and yet for Brown to just not bring the ball in. That is a red flag, because earlier this week I'm like, okay, Marquise Brown, the breakout's here. I'm hyped. This is great. This is such a big deal for Baltimore. Came crashing back down this week. 7 targets, only brought in 3 of them. Multiple drops, either 3 or 4, 53 yards. A disappointing showing by Marquise Brown. Had the Ravens lost this game, he would have gotten quite a bit of blame as far as I'm concerned. So I want you guys to be honest with this question. Are you worried about Marquise Brown? Get your votes in for me right now in the comment section. Why for yes, this game raises concerns, or N for no, it's a bad game. That happens to everybody. It's an outlier. Get your votes in for me in the comment section. Why for yes or N for no. Let's talk ground game now. I mean, look, once again, Lamar Jackson leads the way on the ground. That's not a huge concern. It's the other running backs. It's the threesome for now, with Lev Bell still on the practice squad, at least for the time being. Latavius Murray, Tyson Williams, Devonta Freeman. Neither of them really had their best games. Latavius Murray got more run, 7 carries, 28 yards. That's an average of 4. Nothing special from that perspective. He had a long of 8, so fairly consistent. Tyson Williams did have a 12-yard run, but he was only 5 of 22. The Ravens didn't run the ball very effectively. Lamar Jackson also took 4 sacks with a 31-yard scamper. Devonta Freeman, a long of 5 on 3 carries for 8 yards. Part of it is the offensive line. Make no mistake, but the vaunted Ravens ground game isn't clicking the way that we think it should be. Now, if you guys want more Ravens updates all season long, hit that big red button and subscribe. Right there, bottom of the screen. You see the link, but you're watching on YouTube right now. So subscribe. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is hit that big red button right now. Let's talk injury notes. Look, for a Ravens team that was without 4 key contributors, maybe 3.5, depending on how you count Jalen Ferguson. Either way, guys on that front 7. Daelin Hayes also left the game with an ankle injury. I don't have any further details beyond that. He was ruled doubtful, so maybe it's just a sprained ankle would be my suspicion. We will see how that goes throughout the rest of the week. Hopefully, guys like Justin Houston, Ferguson get back from the COVID list in the near future. I did want to mention a little bit more now in depth the Ravens defense. 2 players in particular I thought played great. Chuck Clark, 12 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss. Look, the Lions offense overall, 27 carries for 93 yards. Given how thin this team was on the defensive line, that's impressive. Jared Goff, 217 through the air. The Ravens did not allow that many yards. It was the sacks and some inconsistencies on the offense that I think kind of almost cost them in this one. I also want to mention Calais Campbell. 4 tackles, 2 for loss. He was great. Campbell has still been one of the most reliable, steady, and consistent defensive linemen in the NFL. So I want to give the Ravens defensive line a shout-out. As thin as they were against a team that ran the ball 22 times, more than the Ravens themselves did, that defensive line did a damn good job, especially on that last drive. That last drive for the Lions. The Lions could have had a chance to put themselves in a position to ice the game. They got the ball, first and 10, a 2-minute warning. They got nothing. They lost 3 yards on those final 3 plays, forced the field goal, and gave the Ravens a chance for the miracle comeback win as they take down the Lions 19-17. I think Justin Tucker, unquestionably, I didn't even ask it of you guys today because I didn't need to ask because I all know the answer. Justin Tucker, without a doubt, the MVP of this one and the MVP of many fantasy teams out there as well. Of the Ravens' 19 points, Justin Tucker had 13. Was 1 of 1 on extra points, 4 of 5 on field goals, including the game-winning walk-off, one of the all-time, I think, greatest kick, at least in terms of distance, 66-yarder to give the Ravens a win as they improve to 2-1.